What's going on, guys? My name is MrDalekJD, and in this video we're going to be looking at another episode in Call of Duty Zombies cut content. Now, you've seen the title, you've seen the thumbnail, and yes, we are talking about Transit, but don't click off yet, because this is going to be all of our things that every single Zombies fan has always wanted there to be in Transit, and there never was. This map holds such mystery that I think today is going to be the day that we're going to bring it back to you. Yeah, that was terrible. This is going to be all of the secrets inside of Transit that never saw the light of day. This is a sort of video that if this was posted during Black Ops 2's release, this would be ridiculously hyped. If you were part of the Zombies community, specifically around the release of Transit, you will reminisce on these memories because this is crazy stuff. And if you do go on to enjoy today's video, then be sure to consider dropping a like rating on the video. I'd really appreciate that. The first episode of this series has almost 15,000 likes, and I'm sure this is going to be something which you guys are going to be at least somewhat excited to hear. So without any further ado, let's get started with the very first fact about Transit. Now, of course, during this time, Jimmy Zielinski was the main Zombies head creating all of these Zombies maps, and it wasn't until DLC 2 and 4 that Jason Blundell started to come in with the direction of these zombie maps. But Jimmy Zielinski had some very ambitious ideas with Black Ops 2 Zombies. What Transit originally was supposed to be was it was going to be two completely different versions. So what I'm saying is, if you completed the moon Easter egg, you blew up the Earth, right? And because of the actions of blowing up the Earth, that is what created Transit. Well, what he wanted to do was, if there was players that didn't complete the moon Easter egg, there was going to be a version of Transit playable which would contain absolutely no lava, there'd be no destruction, it would be a completely normal town. And there is evidence within trailers to suggest this was going to be the case. And this is a look at an exclusive trailer which Machinima had during the reveal of Black Ops 2 and the hype towards its E3 gameplay showcase. They showed behind the scenes of all three modes, and we see a very early version of Transit, and you can see the town portion, and it's super early in progress, you can just clearly see, but you can see in the middle of the town there is no lava crack or anything like that. You can't see anything, and that suggests that there was a version of Transit that existed where there was no lava or destruction to the world. Now, of course, on paper this sounds like an incredible idea, and this would have gone down super well, as it would maybe entice players to go back to the old game and complete that Easter egg so that the effects would be different. And who knows if the difference between a normal Transit map and the completely undestroyed version would have affected anything in terms of storyline between each two maps or stuff like that. Maybe there was continuity issues, but mainly the biggest issue is the fact that the last generation of consoles wouldn't have been able to handle that. The Transit map itself is so goddamn big that I'm sure that disc was absolutely stuffed to the rim, and there would be absolutely no way for them to have included another version of the map, seeing as how big it is with all these different changes. On PC, I'm sure it's absolutely fine and pretty much a darn easy thing for them to do, but they needed to keep the continuity on PC and PlayStation and Xbox, so I'm afraid it seems like that was scrapped. What do you think of that idea? Let me know down below in the comment section, as that would be a very interesting thing to imagine. Now, the next thing is talking about an alternative ending to Transit. There was supposed to be an ending inside of the Transit map, which was, I guess, linked to its Easter egg, but it wasn't something that was going to be something we'd find out right at the end of the DLC season, because Reza El Ghazi, who's one of the main guys over at Zombies during Black Ops 2's development, had an interview with PlayStation UK magazine, and he said this: "There is a narrative in Transit and an endgame of sorts. Death is the most common ending, but it's not necessarily the only ending. Pay attention to dialogue between the four new heroes and you'll begin to unravel the mystery behind the zombie takeover of Earth." So reading in between the lines of that, he says that death is the most common ending, as that's true, death is the most common way that you'll end your game on Transit, but it's not necessarily the only way that you'll end the game. So back in the day when this was a brand new map, people were losing their minds. There were so so many theories, and even on my channel there was some weird instances of things that could happen inside of the map after the Easter egg that we thought were maybe hints towards an alternate ending or some way of ending or continuing the Easter egg. One example is a lighting glitch in the laundromat of town where there was some weird light beaming into this washing machine. Well, turns out it was a lighting glitch, and I don't know what Treyarch were insinuating here, because this interview happened after the release of Black Ops 2 around about the end of December, early January time, and it never came to fruition inside of Transit. So to me it sounds like a scrapped idea that they were maybe gonna update the map to have at some point in the future, and then decided to just go ahead with the endgame of Buried. Nevertheless, there is an ending that we just aren't able to access because it just doesn't exist within the game, which is really, really weird. But let me know what you think in the comment section. What do you think he meant when he said that death is the most common ending, but it's not the only one? Now, here is the biggest part of the video, and probably something which you guys are going to be really, really hyped to see. Now, I mentioned about last episode, we got a lot of information about cut Black Ops 2 game modes, and we have a few other things which I think you guys will really be interested in. Now, there's been so much talk of this over the years, and I'm happy to finally tell you guys that Bus Route B was supposed to be a thing. There actually were plans for a new location for the bus driver to take you as well, but it never got implemented into the game, and possibly this could have been something that happened after completing the Easter eggs, because what I think was supposed to happen is after you completing all of the Easter eggs involving Transit, Daraz and Buried, you go back to Transit and the bus driver would have new voiceovers for new stuff to do within the map, of course including that coveted Bus Route B. Like we spoke about earlier with the other stuff, it seems that console limitations these days is what really impaired Transit from being a much bigger experience. If they weren't on the last gen consoles and possibly on next gen, there could have been a way for them to actually update the Transit map to have a Bus Route B. But funnily enough, this was actually something that Treyarch wanted to do. I don't know if any actual things exist for the new location that was going to be in Transit, but there were plans for a new location for him to take you to, but it never got put into the game. Now, this is purely just a speculation point here, but if we think about it, Nakda and Toten is such a weird thing to have inside of Transit. If I'm honest, if I was Treyarch, I would definitely have a Bus Route B that would only unlock near the end of the game's life cycle, that would take us to Nakda and Toten, and there would be something a little bit more to do, because Nakda and Toten in Transit as it is just a sort of excuse for a part to be held within, but it doesn't contain any information on story. It doesn't relate to the original location of Nakda and Toten. It just simply doesn't make any sense. If we compare that to the Black Ops 1 version, as well as the part of Nakda and Toten, which is pretty much the entire thing anyway, within Revelations, it makes sense for it to exist, but there was never an explanation why Nakda was even there in Transit in the first place, and maybe that could be where Bus Route B was originally supposed to take you. But that is going to remain a mystery, because we have absolutely no idea what Treyarch were actually intending on that becoming. But there you go, the lost secrets of Transit. Could it have made the map any better? Possibly, but that is something which we will never really be able to experience, because Transit is and was what we got. But if you did enjoy this video, then be sure to smash that thumbs up button. I really would appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts on this down below in the comment section, if there's anything else that you prefer to see in the next episode in terms of looking at some awesome new stuff. But thank you for watching. I'll catch you on another one soon.